In this first episode, Jonnet and Adam will present a brief history of Oromo people.
The Oromo belong to the Cushitic family, one of the four major linguistic and cultural groups in Northeast Africa in general and Ethiopia in particular. The Oromo were one of the indigenous and most ancient peoples of the region with a mutually common language, as well as common history, culture and psychological makeup. Historical, anthropological and linguistic evidences testify that the Oromo constitute a major ethnic entity among the Cushitic peoples. This belongingness of the Oromo and many other peoples in Ethiopia to the same share heritage, if handled positively with a clear understanding of a common identity, equal citizenship rights and respect will promote democracy, integration and coexistence. The Oromo are one of the ancient inhabitants in Northeast Africa with their own socio-political, economic and religious systems which they also share with other populations. Today, the Oromo are numerically one of the most largest ethnic groups in Ethiopia with a substantial number living in northern Kenya. Ironically, however, though they represent the majority demographically and are legitimate citizens of the country, they do not have any genuine representation and have been treated as political minority by the Ethiopian successive regimes since the last quarter of the 19th century. The Oromo situation, therefore, calls for a genuine democratic approach to effect a profound political and socio-economic transformation that will also benefit other peoples of Ethiopia in a similar situation and pave the way towards integration. Although the Oromo are spread out in different and geographically distinct directions, they have still maintained strong unitary links which would necessarily facilitate integration beyond local adoptions and adaptations. There are considerable cultural diversities between different Oromo groups, and Oromo are variously Muslims, Christians and followers of traditional religion, Wakifana. But underlying these diversities there are two important shared attributes. First, any Oromo speaker, whatever dialect he or she speaks, can be understood immediately by another Oromo. Secondly, Oromos all share common cultural values and way of thinking and feel culturally comfortable with each other. Afan Oromo is one of the Cushitic language families to which it belongs. Afan Oromo ranks first by the number of its speakers. It is the third of the widely spoken languages in Africa next to Swahili and Hausa languages. It is a common language of many nationalities. Geographically, Afan Oromo is found in eastern, southern, central and western Cushitic language families by maintaining its homogeneity. The Oromo live in different regions or countries could communicate in this Afan Oromo without dialectical barriers. Afan Oromo was able to survive the policy assimilation of successive Ethiopian regimes. The Ethiopia religious and government institutions attempted to reduce Afan Oromo teaching. Literature is linguistically documented facts and ideas through which people used to preserve their deeds and worldviews from one generation to the next. It is also important to note that one cannot separate language and culture from literature that define them. Language is therefore a pedestal in the evolution of literature, as it is one of the typical ingredients in one's awareness of her or his culture, identity, custom and history. The sources to study the historical movements of human beings have come from the study of languages that were spoken by the preceding generations as a proto-language. This is because language harbors human culture, knowledge, arts, history and others. This is also true for Oromo language, what the Oromo prefer to call Afan Oromo. Recent sources are reveal the neglected history of Afan Oromo under its past consecutive Ethiopian rulers. The attempts of the rulers to lock up Afan Oromo's outlets where they had been are now being wearied away by discovering of the sources which were masked by the scholars of Ethiopian history was influenced of its rulers. The civilizations of the Middle East and Northeast African states that Afan Oromo is the purest living specimen of primitive Babylonian languages. When the other languages have since been mixed up with other languages, Afan Oromo in Ethiopia has been able to maintain their purity without any significant changes. The vocabulary of Afan Oromo is undoubtedly Kushite, belong to that of Tongue, which in the sequel were everywhere more or less mixed up with the Semitic languages. Afan Oromo was a popular language in Ethiopia before the conquest of Oromo land by Menelik. Although Oromo nation has been one of the largest ethno-nations in Ethiopia, the attention given to study their language, particularly from historical aspects, remains minimal. Policy of marginalization was also exercised for the purpose of building a country of one language, religion and culture. Promotion for the Afan Oromo was inspected and strictly forbidden. Therefore, the Oromo language in general and written Oromo literature in particular remained less studied. Despite the long time period struggle of Oromo people for equality, their widely spoken language in Africa, never been officially recognized a national language in their own country Ethiopia.